Hello, my name is Jeff Jackson, and I am the owner of Barefoot Properties in Belize, Central America. I am also a doctoral student at California Intercontinental University. I'd like to welcome you to my video. As part of my video series, I like to use props as a means of visualization so that I can convey the concept of what I'm trying to communicate to those who watch these videos. As you will note, I have a tool box here, which I'll use as my prop. Just as a mechanic or a tradesperson has a professional toolbox in which they keep all their tools of their trade, as a manager, I believe we should also have a professional toolbox where we keep the professional tools of our trade safely kept away, where we can access it and use it whenever we need it appropriately. It is my goal throughout these video series and these training sessions that I might be able to impart upon you some of the tools of the trade that I have learned as a manager and that have helped me in my career. I appreciate you watching this video, and I truly hope that some of these tools you'll find helpful throughout your career. Thank you.
In today's video training session, we will be discussing the 6 stages of a business research process. We will begin our discussion by addressing the management dilemma. Then we will build an understanding of what the research process is. We will then break out the research process into its 6 stages for review, followed by a discussion of what the final report should include, and then we will wrap it up with some helpful report tips that you can use to get your report noticed and hopefully actioned. To start off our discussion, we need to discuss the management dilemma, because that is what drives the research process. The research process is built upon answering or resolving a management question. The process involves planning, acquiring, and disseminating relevant data, information, and insights to decision makers. Managers use the information that they receive to guide their business decisions, to reduce and make more efficient their budgets, and to enhance their return on investment. Regardless of whether a company is for profit, non-profit, or public, understanding the relationship between business research and information generated by other information sources is critical for understanding how information drives decisions relating to organizational mission, goals, strategies, and tactics. As a manager or a researcher, it is important to understand what the research process entails. When a business commits to a research process, this endeavor normally involves a major commitment of resources. Therefore, it is important that the most effective organizational tools be used throughout the process to make the most out of the resources provided. There are 6 stages in the research process, the first of which is stage 1, clarifying the research question. The management dilemma is usually a business problem or opportunity that requires a business decision. The management dilemma is usually a symptom of an actual problem, such as rising costs, declining sales, a number of product defects, or it could be customer or client complaints. It could also involve employees or management. The key factor in this first stage is to identify the management question. To do so, the management dilemma should be formulated and restated in a question format. These questions could be in the form of a single management question, a research question, an investigative question, or a series of management questions. Once the research question is defined, the manager must propose the research process to the company in order to allocate resources to the project. The process should include project planning, data gathering, and analysis, data interpretation, and reporting. Each step in this process should share equally in the budget. It should be noted that without budgetary approval, many research efforts are rejected for lack of resources. Stage 3 is where the blueprint for fulfilling objectives and providing the insight to answer management's dilemma is formulated. The field of business research offers a large variety of methods, techniques, procedures, and protocols to address management dilemmas, and as such, the numerous alternatives and combinations spawned by the abundance of tools may be used to construct alternative perspectives on the same problem. In this stage, sampling and pilot testing are also key tools that can be applied to the research process. In stage 4, we begin gathering data. Data is defined as facts presented to the researcher from the study's environment. It can be characterized by its abstractness, verifiability, elusiveness, and closeness to phenomenon. The gathering of data at this stage includes questionnaires, standardized tests, and checklists. These are the most common devices used to record raw data. Also at this stage, collected data can be edited to ensure consistency across respondents and to locate omissions. And in the case of surveys, editing can reduce errors in the recording, improve legibility, and clarify unclear and inappropriate responses. Data can also be coded to reduce the responses to a more manageable system for processing and storage. Data at this stage can be categorized as either primary or secondary. Primary data are data that the researchers collect to address the specific problem at hand, which is the research question. Secondary data are data originally collected to address a problem other than the one which requires a manager's immediate attention at that moment. In stage 5 of the process, managers gain needed information and insights, as opposed to just raw data, in which to make appropriate business decisions. Researchers generate information and insights by analyzing data after its collection. Data analysis includes the editing, reducing, summarizing, looking for patterns, and applying statistical techniques to data. Increasingly, managers are asking research specialists to make recommendations based upon their interpretation of data that they have received and synthesized. Stage 6 is where the business research process draws to a close, as it is necessary to prepare a report and transmit the findings, insights, and recommendations to the manager for the intended purpose of decision making. At this juncture of the process, we discover if the researcher has accurately assessed the manager's needs to resolve the dilemma. These are the 3 parts of the final product: an executive summary, which consists of a synopsis of the problem, the findings, and the recommendations. All 3 of these are part of the final research report. I will also address some important report tips that you can use. The first, the report should be developed from a manager or information user's perspective. The researcher should adjust the style and organization of the report according to the target audience, the occasion, and the purpose of the research. The report should avoid as much technical jargon as possible. The report should also fit the client's needs. It should be an insightful adaptation of the information that can rightly fit into what the client has asked for or is needing. Time should also be invested carefully into your final report, and words should be chosen that will utilize attention and want the end user to read, receive, and accept the report. Today we discussed the management dilemma and how it ties into business research. We built an understanding of what the research process was. We broke out the research process into its 6 stages for review. We followed that up with a discussion of what the final report should include, and finally we wrapped it up with some helpful report tips. In conclusion, by following the basics presented in this video training presentation, and by acquiring professional assistance to aid you in the process, should you need it, you could soon find yourself utilizing the information in this video to conduct business research in resolving a management dilemma that your company might be facing. Thank you for watching.